Welcome to Influential Sports, where passion meets precision. As I'm your host Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the Chiefs and talking about why I think they're in for a rough season. Obviously, the Chiefs they're 0-2 season, only in week two. As I mentioned, the Texans and Buccaneers game is on right now. Haven't seen it yet because I was at dodgeball practice when it came on. So I'm gonna just watch it in the morning and get caught up on it. So y'all will be seeing this video at halftime of the Chargers and Raiders game, which I will be looking forward to watching and seeing what Geno and Justin Herbert has in store for us. But let's focus just on the Chiefs and why I think that they're in for a really rough season. So week one Friday game overseas against the Chargers, Justin Herbert significantly outplayed Patrick Mahomes. You watched that game, you know Justin Herbert played a lot better than Mahomes did, had two more touchdowns. Now Mahomes did lead his team in rushing, which I'm gonna get into the Chiefs in a second. But this Chargers game, the Chargers ended up winning 27-21. They scored the first touchdown in the first quarter. They scored in each quarter, while the Chiefs they weren't able to score in the first quarter. And I think part of that came down to the mistake that Travis Kelce made, taking out Xavier Worthy for at least this week. Now I don't know what Xavier Worthy's status is versus the Giants, but Travis Kelce making the mistake and running into him, that really hurt the Chiefs because you already don't have Rasheed Rice for 6 weeks who's suspended. And I figured that Kansas City will struggle a little bit, but I didn't think it'll be to the point where they start the season 0-2. Like I said, it's still early, but many teams who start 0-2 don't make the playoffs. As we've seen the Bengals last year, they missed the playoffs because they lost the Week 1 game to the Patriots, who ended up being one of the worst teams in the league. If the Bengals get that win, then the Bengals did start off to a 2-0 start this year. Unfortunately, Burrow is out for 3 months, so prayers up to him. But these first few weeks matter so much in a 17-game season. Like you can't just take this. Like, you can't just look at this and say, well, like you can. Of course, you can say it's still early in the season because it is, but you can't just look at this and be like, oh yeah, they'll be all right because they don't look all right so far. And Justin Herbert threw for 318 yards. Quentin Johnson had 5 catches for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of the most clowned on receivers last year had a great game. Lad McConkey had 6 catches, 74 yards, back to his usual self from last season. Keenan Allen 68 yards, 7 catches, 1 touchdown. They had 4 receivers with over 50 yards in that game. The Chargers did, and then even though they didn't get much of a run game going, Omari Hampton he had 15 carries for just 48 yards, but he still had a 3.2 average. So the Chiefs defense, they gave up, like I said, they gave up scores in each quarter. And then the Chiefs couldn't get a run game going. Pacheco only got 5 carries for 25 yards. Kareem Hunt only got 5 carries for 18 yards. Then Mahomes led the team in rushing with 6 carries for 57 yards, and he had a touchdown. But if Mahomes is leading the Chiefs in rushing yards, they're not winning that game. Then as far as receiving goes, Hollywood Brown had a great game, 10 catches for 99 yards, and Kelce had a touchdown, but he only had 2 catches. And Travis Kelce hadn't done much to start the season. And it's like this team, they don't look like the team that just went to the Super Bowl. They don't look anything like that. And you can make the same argument for my Eagles if you want to, but the difference is the Eagles are 2-0 while the Chiefs are 0-2 to start the season. And they just clearly got outplayed and outperformed in this game, got outcoached in this game. Then let's talk about the game with the Eagles, which was just played, in which people are complaining about the touch push when the whole league had a choice to vote on it over the summer and decided to keep it. The majority won. Now this Eagles game, the Chiefs lost this 20-17 when Jalen Hurts threw for 101 yards. That doesn't say anything to me about Jalen Hurts because you understand the Eagles' game plan. First off, Jalen Hurts has played with a different offensive coordinator each year of his career from college to the NFL. So he has to make new adjustments every season. Also, our system doesn't require him to pass that often. He went 15 to 22. That's very efficient. Saquon Barkley had 22 carries. But if anything, that tells you more about the Chiefs and how much their offense is struggling that they can't beat a guy that had 101 passing yards. And I don't know why people are acting like Mahomes played so much better when he had 187 yards and an interception. He did have 2 touchdowns, one through the air and one on the ground, but Mahomes didn't play great. Even Kelce led the team in receiving yards for 4 catches and 61 yards. But they really need a lot more from Travis Kelce. The Hollywood Brown production from last week to this week was night and day. He only had 2 catches. No, he had 5 catches, but for 30 yards. So he had less yards and less catches in this game. So this Chiefs team, they don't look good so far. Patrick Mahomes led the team in rushing once again. Kareem Hunt, 8 carries, 31 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 10 carries, 22 yards. Mahomes, 7 carries and 66 yards. And these are undesigned runs. So the plays that they're scheming for their running backs and Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, it's been 2 weeks into the season, and Mahomes has led the team in rushing yards. Mahomes is great, but he should not be leading his team in rushing. When you have a Pro Bowl back in Isaiah Pacheco, when you have Kareem Hunt, you have two good backs, and neither one of them can lead your team in rushing yards, you're relying on Mahomes to lead your team in rushing. So that puts more pressure on him. He went 16-29, had 187 yards. Like I said, he wasn't bad, but the Chiefs lost a game that they should have won. The Chiefs, and then the interception that Mahomes threw at the goal line when Travis Kelce just dropped the ball, it went straight off his hands. So even though Travis Kelce led the team in receiving yards, he's the reason for Mahomes' one interception in that game. The one turnover that Mahomes had in that game was because of Travis Kelce. So like Travis Kelce didn't have a good week 1, and then week 2 he played a solid game, and then he just fucked up at the end with the drop that he had that led to an interception, and it was got a pretty good return back. Like I said, I know it's early, but many teams do not start 0-2 and make the playoffs. The Ravens did it last year; they were able to come back from it, but I don't think the Chiefs will be able to do it because their situations are so different. You don't have Xavier Worthy, which that showed in both of these games, because there goes their wide receiver 1 basically. Even though you have Hollywood Brown, I think Worthy was going to develop into that this season and become more of that one for Mahomes. But it's like he's out, and I can do an update now and see when Xavier Worthy is expected to come back. But not having him these first 2 games, that's really crucial. Because I'm looking it up right now. See, he wasn't even able to play the Eagles game, even though they got a huge update from what it's saying. So he was out for that game, but I don't know if he'll be able to play the Giants next week, which I think is on Sunday night. But they said he's looking good to play in week 3, so now he got to get, which I don't think it's going to take long for him to get adjusted to back into the lineup. But the Giants looked great against the Cowboys yesterday, and Russell Wilson had 450 yards and still lost, but the Giants look great. So they're in for a tough test, and this schedule that the Chiefs had, it doesn't really favor them. Whether they have Worthy or not, they still have a tough schedule ahead. They had the Giants in New York on Sunday night after Russell Wilson coming off one of the best performances he's had in years. Then you followed it up with the Ravens, who had one of the most explosive offenses, and Derrick Henry, he didn't fumble again. You got the Jaguars after that, who look solid so far. That could be a competitive game. Then you had the Lions, who offense looked amazing. Maybe that's just because they was facing Ben Johnson, but who knows? We'll see what the Lions can do these upcoming weeks. And then you had the Raiders after that, who's a division rival, who also look good, and we'll see during this Raiders and Chargers game tonight what the Raiders look like. So that's their next 5 games. They're already 0-2, and then I'm not saying they're gonna lose all these and be 0-7, but I don't think that'll happen. But there's a real possibility where this team is 2-5 or 1-6, despite how early it is in the season. This team does not look good. They lost their first home game, and they lost the one overseas game. They're gonna have the one neutral site game they have. So now they're on the road. So we're gonna see what happens with that. But this Chiefs team does not look good. If Mahomes is leading the team and rushing, I don't trust this team to win that division. I think that division is open for the Chargers or Broncos to win it. Now, what the Raiders can do, now that they have an actual quarterback in Geno Smith, I don't know what can happen in Las Vegas, but there's a real possibility that the Chiefs aren't winning this division, especially if Mahomes is leading the team in rushing. That's not something you can put on the receivers. There's no reason for Mahomes to be leading his team in rushing yards as their star quarterback. If anything, that's just for him to get more injured. Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco got to step up. They got to take some of that pressure off Mahomes. And Travis Kelce, he can't make that same mistake in the next game. He struggled in the first game with only 2 catches. Then in the second game, he had a costly drop that led to an interception, which, like I said, Mahomes' only turnover of that game. So it could be. Now I know people are gonna say it's premature to make this video, but I'm just looking at what I've seen from these first 2 weeks. It's early in the season. It's a bit of an overreaction, yes, but I'm not saying they won't make the playoffs, because they can still make the playoffs from 0-2, but I don't see them winning their division. But in this AFC, which is really weird, these first 2 weeks, the Colts are 2-0, and Daniel Jones looks elite. The the Chargers, I never want to know if they ain't played their game yet. But I'm like, the AFC looks really weird right now. The Steelers played amazing against the Jets, and then they they lost to the Seahawks the next week, which was really weird how they lost. I didn't see the game, but this AFC is really weird. We're gonna see what happens. The Ravens got to win against the Browns. It's 2 weeks into the season. We're gonna see what happens. But the Chiefs, if you're saying the Eagles don't look like the same team that went to the Super Bowl last year, you have to be fair and keep it about the Chiefs. Because you got clowns like Nick Wright that want to talk shit about the Eagles, yet your Chiefs look terrible and have not won a game yet. And I don't even know did. And the Chiefs didn't score in the first quarter in the Eagles game either. 2 games into the season, and they've yet to score in the first quarter. They didn't score the first or third quarter in this game, but back-to-back games to start the season without scoring in the first quarter. That's not a good look on the Chiefs. And your chances of making the playoffs at 0-2 are very small because it's not a lot of games in the NFL season. It's only 17 games. It was 16 in the past. So you have a bit more of a chance now. But if you start 0-3 and lose to the Giants, then your playoff hopes you're basically kissing your playoff hopes goodbye, because it's going to be hard to recover from that, especially in the AFC with how it is now. With the Bills already 2-0, the Chargers and Raiders. We'll see which team moves to 2-0 tonight. The Bengals 2-0 despite not having Burrow for 3 months now, but good start to the season, something that they haven't seen in a few years. That good of a start. The Colts 2-0, the Jags 1-1, the Ravens 1-1. Like some of these, like if you lose next week and some of these other teams get wins, that's just gonna make your path much more difficult. And every team in your division has a win except for you. You're the only winless team in your division. And it's been a while since it's been the last time they were last in their division was week 5 of 2021. So I don't think the future looking bright, especially with Rasheed Rice being out 46 weeks. It's gonna like that pass game. You really gotta rely. Like Travis Kelce got to be the one that steps up with him being the vet on the team. It's Travis Kelce and Hollywood Brown. It comes down to them. Now, if Xavier Worthy is back, you just expect him to progress from last season to this year. You just expecting Xavier Worthy to progress. But not having Rasheed Rice, that's going to be really difficult to manage within these next 4 weeks, in my opinion. And there's a possibility that they're 1-5. They could easily beat the Giants. Who knows? But with how good the Giants look, maybe they can put up a fight against the Chiefs. We'll see. Just my quick thoughts. It's been a rough start for the Chiefs. I'm not saying it's over, but as far as them going to the playoffs, their hopes aren't dead. But I don't know if this team can win the division with how they'll play through these first 2 weeks. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the road to 500 subs, share for others to see, and I hope y'all enjoyed this quick little rant about the Chiefs and fuck Nick Wright.